What is up, guys? My name is Bobby, and this is my one video a week thing. I like to at least get one video out each week, and since I'm starting some more schooling coming up this week, I'm kind of going to be booked, and when classes start, I pretty much don't want to spend my off time, or my spare time as I call it, playing video games. I'm just not into it as much anymore, especially with classes and all that. But classes will end somewhere, what I think at the end of August. I'll be done with classes, and then I can get back to not necessarily 24/7 stay up all night, play nothing but video games. I've turned 18 recently, and I've become to the realizing that when I'm playing video games, I'm not going to be able to do it for a living. I'm probably grown out of the stage where games are as fun as they are now. It's kind of like being on a diet. You proportionate yourself. If you're on a proportion diet, you proportionate your meal and work out on, more often. So when you proportionate gaming, if you can't just quit gaming, if you find being without the internet, or you can't quit gaming, you have to keep playing no matter what, even if it's more important that you get an education, then you are quite most probably addicted to it. That's kind of how the dieting is. If you can't proportionate yourself, or you must eat a certain food, or you must eat before you go to bed each night, you're addicted to eating at a specific time, and that specific time may be very, very unhealthy, because if you eat a lot of bread, or if you eat a lot of meat or leftovers before you go to bed, and you're not working that out, in reality all you're doing is just gaining weight, and it may not show up. You may have a good metabolism and it might go away, but for the people that can just eat every night before they go to bed, even if it's not a lot, eventually that'll pile up, and your metabolism will not bottleneck that down, and you will gain a lot of fat because you're not working it out. So that's kind of how this is with me in gaming. I can just quit it. I'm not like addicted to it, and it's much easier for me to quit it now, realizing that I'm gonna have to get a good job to support, to pay my car payments, to pay if I get a condo. I need to pay the internet and the apartment. Not a what did I say a condo for? I'm not gonna live in a condo. Maybe I'll start off in an apartment, but eventually want to have a house. I do want to have a house, but most likely I'll probably end up in an apartment for some time in my life, and I think that is a good way to do it. But if you look at it, living in an apartment is probably not the best thing to do, because they're overpriced and you pay so much money each month, and if you don't have a good job or a steady job, it's going to be hard to pay that along with your car payment, or your you're going to have to pay taxes. You're going to have to do all that. There's a lot of things when you grow up, and I think a lot of people underestimate how much money your parents put into. So when you ask your parents for a game or money or something you really want, like clothes or whatever, obviously clothes is a really exceptional, clothes is an exceptional point, but because you're gonna have to need clothes, that's no matter what, but you don't need games to live. So next time you ask your mom or dad something, for example, like, hey mom, the Xbox 720 just came out, I really want it, and you're 17 or you're 16, think about how much money your mom and dad make, and if it's not a lot, think about how much money you're taking away from them, and how much it's going to make a difference when you take that money away from them. Is it going to make their lose some sleep at night, thinking, oh well, I wanted to get little Timmy this console, but now we can't make the car payment, we may lose the money, get behind on the car payment, which doing that makes them get behind more, and then more, and then more, and then more, and then in reality all you're doing is just fucking them. You are. And your most debts, a lot of people feel sorry for people that are in debts, and I feel sorry for people in debts, because most of the time, not all the time, this is just sometimes, I would imagine the parents are in debt because they can't say no to their kids when they ask for something. And I kind of feel sorry for that. I kind of feel like the parents, worked hard all their life and brought this kid into their world, and now you're just sucking them out of all the money they have. So just think about it. Give it a second when it happens, because it's a very, becoming 18, I just look at it like, wow, I can't believe I asked, all that money in my whole life, and I'll eventually probably give it back to him before, as someone's like raging on there. But that's just, look at the bigger picture here, and the bigger picture is your mom and dad love you most likely, unless you're just a tormenting dick, don't listen, which then in case you don't deserve anything, you don't deserve to get anything you want. So that's pretty much all I got to talk about. This gameplay is like 8 minutes long, but I'm going to cut it off now. I really don't get too many more kills after when I'm going to cut it off. But the bigger part is when you become 18, think about what you're doing when you ask your mom and dad for money. Even if it's just a little money, think about how they could use it. Or especially when your mom and dad are fighting, listen in. Maybe they're fighting because of their money. Most divorces or problems, as far as marital problems, become relevant when money is tight, and it is usually the leading cause of divorce. Is money gets tight and they can't support each other, therefore they fight. They look at the flaws in each other and then they realize that they're not perfect for each other, and in reality they probably are. That's pretty much it. Money leads the moral of the story is once you grow up, and don't ask your mom and dad for money, especially if money's tight. So my name is Bobby. That is your daily dose of, or your weekly dose of, the Campbellnator. Thanks for watching.